Welcome back to another Pokemon Market Monday, home of the OG weekly market updates. Every week we go through last week's sales of sealed Pokemon products and Pokemon cards that are currently going up in price. We do also cover any big Pokemon news like cards or sets that get revealed. And we do have to give a big thanks to our video sponsor real quick, and that is Collectr. This app is the best of the best when it comes to tracking your collection. No other app compares. I have actually tried every single one of them. They're always trying to improve by adding new boxes, cards, and features, so let us know down below if there's anything you want them to add or work on. Yeah, they just added a couple brand new features that a lot of people have been asking for. They just added where you can search by artist name now, and it shows all of their cards, and they also added new filters and stuff where you can put like card only and type in like Charizard or Mewtwo, and it'll show you all of your Charizard cards or Mewtwo cards and the total value and all that. So definitely check them out. They also do more giveaways than anyone in this entire hobby, I promise you. Literally every single week, they're doing a crazy giveaway. We're doing one right now for a Phantasmal Flames booster box. This ends November 6th, so make sure you go to my Instagram or Collector's Instagram to get entered into that giveaway. You do not want to miss out on that. And you guys already know about the new binder bound hoodie and t-shirt that is available for sale now. And then also, if you click my link in the description and you want to grade with PSA for your very first time, you can get $25 off your very first submission if you use the code BEARD25 at checkout. All right, let's get to it. PokeBeard. So I thought this was really cool. Dream Painting Collection 151 figure set releasing in China for 151 TCG set. So looks like it's going to be November 28th. Each box will come with 1 of 13 Pokemon figures emulating the artwork of their cards from the 151 set right down to the brush strokes. They'll also come with a Pokeball reverse holo of that card, a stand with card holder, and 2 of the China's 151 5-card booster packs. They released 151 across multiple booster packs, so the pack selection will be random. So we'll take a closer look. I think this is a super cool idea. If you guys did not know, I'm a massive fan of statues. I literally have a life-size statue of Spider-Man right behind me. And my whole other room is just filled with statues and stuff, so I think this is a really cool idea, to be honest. That Gengar is sick, the Machoke is sick, Arcanine's sick. But yeah, here we go, a little closer pics. Very cool, and that Gengar card, even though it's just like a regular holo card or reverse holo, the art is pretty crazy. So I thought that was super cool. All right, let's get into it. We're going to be checking a ton of Phantasmal Flames cards and sealed products today because pre-release just happened, so there's a ton of crazy sales. But we are starting off with Celebrations. Holding on pretty good right here. The UPC last sold $8.99, $8.75, $9.13, $9.20, $908 because there's so many things going down in price right now. And if you guys are looking up prices yourself or even watching other people who are checking prices, just know when a lot of things are coming down in price, you cannot trust these market prices. You really can't trust a lot of the graphs sometimes because stuff goes down so fast that it can't always keep up. So like the Umbreon V last week, I think it said the market price was like $600 or something when we had a ton of sales between $450 to $500. So just be careful when you're checking this stuff. So we'll check the Celebrations, regular ETB. Last sold $232, $232, $225, $219. So coming down in price a little bit. And we'll check the Pokemon Center ETB. This got up to $392. Now last sold $380, $368, $367. And I know a lot of people are panicking right now that stuff's coming down in price, but it's actually a good thing. It's going to give us more opportunities to pick some stuff up, which is what we've been waiting for this whole time. So we'll check one more here, and we'll check this Prime Collection box. I feel like no one ever talks about this one. Last sold for this, $215, $183, $195, and we haven't gotten a sale in 2 weeks for that box. Next, Evolving Skies. We'll check the sleeve booster pack. I feel like it's been a while. Got up to $60. Now last sold $49, $52, 15 of them at $40. I mean, 40 compared to 60, that's not too bad at all. Check the booster box. Last sold $2,300, $24, $25.50, $25, $25.50, so still around the same price, kind of leveling out. I think the high was like $26. And Pokemon Center ETBs, we don't get a ton of sales for these on TCG Player, but that sold $750, $798, $899, $860. Now, the $750 was still like 12 days ago. The $798 also a while ago, and then jumps all the way back to the 7th, which was at $8.99. And we'll check one of the regular ETBs. These are trying to hold on right at 4. Last sold $371, $373, $378. But like I said, so many things are coming down in price right now. Basically everything. Next, Crown Zenith. Same thing. We're going to check this booster bundle. doing decent still. Last sold 110, 110, 127, 123. And we got to check that regular ETB. Market price 222. Last sold 213, 228. So yeah, not a ton of stuff moving for Crown Zenith. And we'll check the Pokemon Center ETB. I normally click all these before I do my Market Monday, so it goes a little quicker and smoother, but I did not have any time. So for the Pokemon Center ETB for Crown Zenith, it was at 435, 419. All right, next we got 151. Same thing. Everything basically is going down in price. I did not check the 151 booster bundle display yet. That should be doing decent. Last sold 1,500, 14, 1450. And the regular ETB market price is 409, but we actually have recent sales at 385. The 151 UPC is right at 600 still. And we got to check the Pokemon Center ETB. Last sold 950, 925, 940, 885. We can get it shipped right now for $900, but market price says 954. You know, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You can't just trust the market price or even the graph. But what else do we got here? I think that's about it for 151. Next, Prismatic Evolutions. Everything is the exact same price as it was last week. We got to check the SPC. This was 325. Now that's sold 293, 275, 293. So yeah, everything's down a couple bucks. Pokemon Center ETB market price 377. Let's see if we got any crazy low sales for that one. 349, 370, 367, 355. And the regular ETB market price 132. Now last sold 130, all at 130. Next, we got Destined Rivals. The regular ETB is bouncing back a little bit. Got down to like 113, 114, and now we have some sales at like 120-ish. But nothing crazy. And we'll check this booster box. Last sold 385, 378. Completely leveled out right there. And Pokemon Center ETB. Last sold for this one is 349, 342, 326. But all right, let's get into it. This is the only Scarlet and Violet era booster box that is not technically going down in price right now. Temporal Forces. Last sold 278, 279, all at 279. I mean, just doing pretty decent, but that is it. Every other one is technically going down in price. I have a feeling we're going to have a very, very long Falling Friday next week. And next, we got Sword and Shield. Now, there's only a couple sets that aren't going down in price for Sword and Shield also. So we got Rebel Clash. You know, it says like 413, but last sold 489, 490, 485. Not a ton of sales. We did have one on the 28th at 490. Next, we got Darkness Ablaze leveling out. Last sold 339, 325, 337, 340. Yeah, these boxes will go down in price. It's just that a lot of people completely forget about all these sets and stuff, so we don't have a ton of new sales. Next, Sword and Shield base set booster box. Really no new sales on this one. The last one was on the 1st, so 1 month ago, $620 on TCG Player. That is just crazy. And that is it for Sword and Shield. Next, we got some ETBs. Twilight Masquerade bouncing back just a little bit, got down to $62. Now last sold 69, 69, all at 69. Next, Champions Path ETB, still doing somewhat decent. Last sold 147, 153, 160. This was 130 a couple months ago. Next, we have Phantasmal Flames sealed products on TCG Player. Now I'm going to show you why you should not buy a lot of stuff pre-sale on TCG Player. Only certain people can sell during this time. Market price for the Pokemon Center ETB, $566. Last sold 530, 505, 505. There's a ton of sales. Like we have 4 sales right here on the 1st. Now check this out. Now we're going to hop to eBay, and last sold for the Pokemon Center ETB, 300, 290, 275, 299, like 309. So I don't know who is buying these boxes on TCG Player. Just please don't do that. It is not smart at all. And some of the other stuff is more regularly priced. You know, the booster box, market price 308. That's about what it's selling for on eBay. And same thing with the regular ETB, that's more of a regular price. But for some reason, the Pokemon Center ETBs are always so expensive on TCG Player for pre-sale, which is just crazy. We even got pre-sale for the sleeve booster pack at $20. Wow. Which is wild because the booster bundle market price is $63. Last sold, you know, all at $64. Crazy. And then we're also going to check the UPC. Last sold 278 on eBay, 270, 279, 299, $249, $255. It's getting down there. Would love to see that thing get below $200. Next, we got some illustration rares. We got these Auroch from White Flare. This was at $38. Now last sold $60, $58, $60, $80 for near mint. We even have a $60 lightly played one. Next, the Chandelier from White Flare. This is at $32. Now last sold $38, $38. A lightly played at $45. A near mint at $65, $56. So there's definitely some people trying to hype up some of these cards for sure. Next, the Pikachu from 151, bouncing back a little bit, got down to about $37. Now last sold $39, $55, $51, $40 with a picture, $48, $57. Next, we got the Scrafty from White Flare. This is about a $10 card. Now last sold $14, $16, $14, $14. Next, we got the Mincino from Black Bolt. I really feel like Black Bolt and White Flare has some of the cutest illustration rare and like some of the most popular cute Pokemon out there. So I feel like there's a lot of good pickups still. This is $9 3 months ago. Now last sold $11.29, $11.61, $13.98, $13. So not coming up a ton, just doing decent. Next, we have the Glaceon EX SIR. This got down to $170. Now last sold $170, $195, $249, $195, $193, $250. So prices are all over the place for this card to where it doesn't even make sense. Next, the Greninja EX. It's holding on. It's trying to stay up there. Last sold $381, $348, $510, $370, $375. Let's see, what is the lowest sale? Probably that $348. Yeah, $348 is the lowest sale. But again, we don't get like a ton of sales for this card either. Once cards get really expensive, you're only talking maybe a sale or a couple sales a day. Like we're basically getting a sale every other day or every couple days for this card. All right, let's get to the good stuff here. We got Phantasmal Flames illustration rare. So here's the Meowth. Super cool card. As you guys know, this was a Japanese exclusive for a while. It was very cheap and it went crazy. I think it went from like $50 in a PSA 10 to like $400 or $500 in a PSA 10. I actually sold mine at the last card show I did for like $180 or something like that. But super cool card. I love how they actually have the buildings in the background just like the game and stuff. That's awesome. Yeah, $60 for that Meowth. Next, we got the Dugong. Beautiful card. Last sold $18. You know, we got one for $15 here plus $20 in shipping from the UK. Now, this is a smaller set, so these illustration rares are going to be on the cheaper side, kind of like Journey Together and stuff like that. Next, we got the Paldean Wooper, $20. This was also a Japanese exclusive for a while. Next, Dugong, $25. Meowth, $65. Wigglytuff, $30. We got the Toxtricity for $20. I still feel like Toxtricity is one of the coolest Pokemon from Generation 8. Let me know down below. Then we got the Wigglytuff for $30, Wigglytuff for $33, Dugong again for $27. We got the Mega Sharpedo EX SIR for $135. I have a feeling this is going to be a very cheap SIR. Then we got more Dugongs and the Haunter promo for about $9 and the Meloetto promo here at about $20. And I almost forgot again, even though I have a post-it note right there, but we started a brand new little mini series. In all of my long form videos, I ask you guys the question of the day and then I turn that into a short or reel. So for today's question, what is the worst design Pokemon in Generation 1? So let me know down below, and if you guys are just watching this as a short or reel, make sure you guys follow and hit that like if you guys like content like this. I am very excited to read your guys' answers for this one. All right, next, we have the Flygon illustration rare because it was not on the first page, and this is the card I'm most excited for besides the Charizard. That sold $20, $20. So I feel like Phantasmal Flames does have some very popular Pokemon as illustration rares. It's going to be a smaller set. So it really depends on how much of it is out there and stuff and how hard it is to get. Next, we have the Full Art Charizard selling for $130. Now, I will admit, if we take all the regular Full Art Charizards, I think this might be the coolest one because we are getting 2 Charizards in there. We're getting the regular one and the Mega. So it's pretty cool. You know, it's different. But we got sales at $115, $140, $150, $110, $120. Even got one at $190. Next, we have the Gold Charizard. Last sold around 130 point, $12.75. One sold for $1,050, $950, $1,350, $1,500, $1,000, $900, $1,300, $850, $1,300, $800. A decent amount of them already, to be honest. And a couple more at 1,300. So I think the lowest was at 800 sale right there. Yeah, 800 I think was the absolute lowest. But last sold is 1,275. And that was on Sunday morning. So just a little bit ago. And for the big boy, and I'm very excited to see the special illustration rare finally beat one of these newer gold cards because I like the special illustration rares a lot more. But here is the actual SIR last sold 1,550, 1,900, 1,499. Now there is something that I noticed that I'm not a big fan of. If you compare this Mega Charizard to the Japanese one, the text on the Japanese one does not cover Charmander's face. I'm just nitpicking. I still think this is the best Charizard card we've ever gotten. Hands down, it's not even close. Especially art-wise, I still think base set's a lot more, nostalgic and important for the hobby. But yeah, I don't like how it covered a little bit of Charmander's face. That bugs me a little bit. But on the Japanese one, it does not cover his face at all. So yeah, newest sale, 1,550. Before that, 1,900, which was also Sunday morning. 1,499, 1,550, 2,100, 2,000, 1,400. Best offer accepted. Another one at 2K, 1,300, 2K. So the sales that are closer to $2,000, those are probably going to be a little bit better centered and stuff like that. Might have a better chance at a 10. And I know when you see these sales, you're like, man, they're crazy. But if you do get one of the first PSA 10s on the market, you do get a pretty crazy premium. And there's so many people that just love to chase that. So yeah, let me know down below what you guys think this card is going to come out at. I've talked with a bunch of people, other creators. Some creators think it's going to be a $250, $300, $350 card. Some people think it's going to be over $1,000 the whole time. It's tough to say. But yeah, let me know down below what you guys think this card is going to be at. Same with the gold card. Let's say maybe a month from now, because it technically comes out in like 2 weeks, so we'll give it a couple weeks to cool down a little bit. But I am very, very curious, and I'm also very excited to get my hands on this card. All right, we're going to end on some Japanese. We got the Sylveon EX from Trestle Festival. This card got down to $151 in a PSA 10. Now that's sold $200, $225, $199. Next, the Umbreon EX, still slowly climbing for Trestle Festival. This was $425 in a PSA 10. Now that's sold $530, $686, $680, $550, $530. Prices are kind of all over the place, but still technically going up. Next, the Team Rocket's Mewtwo, still doing decent. It was at $400 something not that long ago. Now that's sold $669, $649, $672, $606, $565. And last on the list, we have the Trestle Festival EX Booster Box. So this got down to like $80, and it has just been slowly climbing ever since. Literally just a couple dollars, every month. Now last sold $109, $102, $108, $99, $110. I really like Trestle Festival. I hope they get a big reprint, and this box drops down to $50, $60 a box. I would love to stock up on it. Even on the Japanese side, there is so much value in this set, and the pull rates are so good for Trestle Festival to where it's actually a pretty fun open. You're pretty much guaranteed that SAR in every box, so that's pretty sweet. But all right, that was today's Pokemon Market Monday. If you guys like this content, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a like and comment. If you guys want to support more, you guys can check out my Instagram, my TikTok, or my YouTube membership is only 99 cents a month. And my merch and the PSA link. You guys know what to do. You guys are the best. But all right, I want you guys to have a great day. Make sure you guys watch my last Slab Sunday yesterday where we do a giveaway, and every single card on that list is technically going down in price. So definitely check that out. But otherwise, we'll see you next time.